figures, just know my quit the pop it.
Damn, it's the intro? Yes, it's the intro. Damn, this is the intro? Yes, it's the intro. Damn, it's the intro? Yes, it's the intro. Damn, this is the intro? Yes, it's the intro.
You spent your whole life trying to blow up, but Elohim never had time for donuts. The beat go ham, no time for cold cuts. The game like big fish came to join up. Yeah, I'm still independent, ain't sold a million records yet. Used to be on my checklist, big diamonds don't need a necklace. Look, we built the sound like it's double speed Tetris. I cannot build without God in it. We built the sound, you can't copy this. I never brag, it's just confidence. I never rap for your compliments. I wrote this one for the indie grind. If you ain't signed on the dotted line, can't buy my soul with no dollar signs. The industry so full of troglodytes. I don't follow trends. Run it up. Say that with my chest. Run it up. No, I will not bend. Run it up. Gang time in it. Gang time. I don't follow trends. Say that with my chest. No, I will not bend. Gang time. Run it up. 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 You gotta put in that work, dog. I put the kingdom first. I know that you gotta wait for your turn sometimes to build something really sustainable. Work on your catalog so the day that you finally pop off, you'll see it's not just a...
CA Sports coverage of the NFL playoffs brings us to the home of the Ravens. Sold out M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore, Maryland. Straight ahead, it's Wild Card Weekend, and we've got a great one in store between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Baltimore Ravens. The battle for the Lamar Hunt Trophy begins as we're underway in this AFC wildcard game. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. A quick pass out to Juju. It's a room to maneuver. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 19 yards right off the bat. And a quick first down. That was a lightning-fast decision that time. He just caught it and got rid of it.
Because he saw his guy was going to be open immediately. So he took the R, the run, out of the play. He took the O, the option, out of the play, and immediately got to the pass.
Took just one play to move all the way to the 44 as they try again on first down. And right away he lost the football. And the Ravens have got it. And without a doubt, not the way they pictured that opening drive unfolded.
No, they were making progress. They weren't exactly.
And now, as with every potential turnover, they're going to take a second look at this just to make sure. The fumble on first down. Now here's second down. Now here's Mahomes. Over the middle, that's hauled in by Tony. And they're going to get this up to midfield. So the contact came before the ball got there, and the flag is thrown.
Timing is everything, isn't it? And it's so hard to cover these great receivers. They have such great body control, and they can fake you out. In this case, as you described, got there before the ball got to the receiver. Penalty flag had to come out.
After the penalty, a fresh set of downs. It's 1st and 10. Now a carry for Edwards-Helaire. And he is going to lose yardage here. David Ojabo, credit him there. He fired across the line and planted him for a loss on the play.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
Now they contend with a 2nd and 12 after the loss. That flag accepted, and it backs the offense up a little bit. Mahomes to throw on 2nd down. Open man completes it to Smith-Schuster. And he'll be tackled on the other side of midfield at the 46-yard line.
They should have put the coverage guys in a stress on that one. They thought they were going deep. Ends up curling inside for a nice chunk of yardage.
They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains. Throwing is Mahomes on 3rd. The throw for Tony is intercepted. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. 20. And he will bring this back. It's a pick 6 and a Raven touchdown. So a big defensive play there on the opening drive, no less, as they make the interception and bring it back for the score.
And I think that's a signal for how this defense wants to play. They want to be disruptive, and you know they're going to take some chances.
Well, sometimes it can burn you, but right there, it paid off. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. Now remember, they were just out here a moment ago through the pick six, so we'll see if they can take better care of the football this go-around.
Yeah, and sometimes, partner.
Oh, the ball is out. Edwards-Helaire lost it. And he'll manage only a couple here up to about the 27.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. Second and short now following the fumble. Throwing now is Mahomes. And this will be broken up and incomplete. Now a penalty flag down, and they may be going backward here. So apparently some grabbing of the jersey there on the O-line.
Yeah, just working the interior, and that's where the penalty occurred.
Now they face a second and long following the holding penalty. Now Mahomes. And he comes back with one complete. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. That'll go as a pickup of 32 on the catch and run.
Well, that's something that this defense is not going to be able to allow if they're going to have success here. They've got to be able to wrap up and get guys on the ground. They end up letting him get away, and it turns into a big play here early on. I can just see veteran observers of the game shaking their heads and talking about the dearth of tackling in the game today.
First and 10, it's Edwards-Helaire with it. And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 47. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up second and 11.
They have 3 tight ends in that formation. That's almost a universal sign that they're planning to run the football. But how about the defense there? They met force with force and caused a stack up behind the line of scrimmage and threw him for a loss.
Looking at a second and 11 now after the loss. So they accept the penalty, of course, and push the offense backwards a bit. Looking to throw is Mahomes. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. And the Ravens are going to get the football here at their own 40-yard line.
And partner, I think this is where long-term starters in the NFL separate themselves from the rest of the pack, because there's still 3 full quarters left in this one. More than enough time to move past a pair of early mistakes and find a way to lead your team to a win. Mental resiliency, a characteristic every NFL team's looking for in their quarterback.
First down yardage on the first play of the drive, 14 yards. Zero hesitation that time. That was get ball, throw ball.
Yeah, turn into a smoke route. If you see the coverage off the receiver, doesn't matter whether you call it a run or not. Just take the ball, get it out to him.
Now Jackson taps this forward jet sweep. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. Call it a gain of 14 for the second play in a row.
But just a simple tap pass, but it pays off in a big way.
And sometimes the simple stuff causes the most problems for a defense because there's a breakdown in communication there. When that receiver goes behind the line of scrimmage and it looks like he's going in motion, someone either has to go with him or he has to be passed off to another defender. Somehow they didn't get that communicated well, and it turned into a nice play.
They'll go again with Dobbins. And he's going to be brought down on what will be the final play of this first quarter. 6-0 our score after one. Now on third down, an extra DB out there for the Chiefs. Off the play fake. Here's Jackson. And he's going to be taken down back around the 35-yard line. Carlos Dunlap drops him for a loss of 10, and it's going to be 4th and long. So Jackson will head to the Ravens sideline, and on comes Justin Tucker for the field goal try. And he hits the upright, but it caroms in anyway. Well, plenty of distance there as he banks it in. And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. And this will not be brought out. It's a touchback. The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. And job one here, Charles, just keep possession of the football. 2 drives, 2 turnovers to this point.
You're exactly right, Doctor. Hippocratic oath. First, do no harm. And right now, they're harming themselves on offense.
I like that. No one is mistaking me for a doctor, though. But thank you, Dr. Davis. Marlon Humphrey with the tackle defensively.
Not the kind of gain that we'll go absolutely crazy for, but it's the kind of gain that you need to have when you're running back in the NFL. And Clyde Edwards-Helaire with that low center of gravity and strength, he's going to get those tough, gritty yards for you when necessary.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. Here's Mahomes to throw. He'll find Smith-Schuster. That's complete. Taken down, but able to slip across the 35.
First down, Kansas City.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Mahomes now to throw. He'll get this complete to Kadarius Toney. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And they'll have a 2nd and 1 forthcoming.
They kept the receiver in the short field, but that let his quarterback get the ball quickly to him before either guy in double coverage could react.
Here's 2nd and a yard. Edwards-Helaire as they run out of the gun. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Well, Mahomes can't get away, and down he goes. David Ojabo collapses the pocket and drops him for a loss of 3.
We said it before the game, and I think it's still apparent. If these guys are going to advance in these playoffs, they're going to have to wreak some havoc coming off the edge.
Yeah, wild card round. They told us the wild card could be that defensive pressure. They showed it there. Following the sack, they'll try to change their fortune here on 2nd and 13. To throw, it's Mahomes. Under pressure, they got him again. Marcus Peters came screaming in on the corner hits. This offense continues to shoot themselves in the foot. And here, another sack.
All game long, we've seen missed assignments, which have led to turnovers, sacks. This group has not played well at all here in the first half.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And the pressure gets to him again. More than one defender there, and that's a loss of 5 on the sack. 4th down, Tommy Townsend to punt for Kansas City. Oh, it's a wobbler here. 1:57 to go in this first half on EA Sports. A reminder, as we did all through the regular season, we'll check in with Jonathan Coachman at halftime. He'll have highlights and analysis of this first half of play. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. Last time out, you remember their drive stalled, but thanks to their kicker, booted a long field goal to at least get them 3. Now here they'll try to do better and find the end zone.
And in our experience, how much fun is it for coaches to know that they've got a kicker who can nail it from long distance? Now, the hard part is, as an offensive play caller, you don't want that in your head too much where you're relying on it, and he goes out and gets the job done for them. But I'm quite sure he would be content to just kick extra points from here on out.
Yeah, absolutely, no question. I think his teammates would be okay with him just kicking the extra points as well. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. And that one will go for 13 yards on the keeper and a first down.
How about that there? No frills, no additives, right? Nothing crazy. Just find a way to pick up the first down. A nice run right there.
In motion, the tight end. And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here. And that'll be a free 5 yards for the offense.
Just like a tennis match, that's just an unforced error. Stay alert, don't jump early, and give them free yardage.
Play action. It's Jackson. That ball caught. It's Mark Andrews, the tight end. And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line. A good pickup there of 20 yards. Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, it's Dobbins. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1.
Good running right there, and this is a man who was a 1,000-yard rusher in the regular season, so you know he's going to get his chances, and he picks up nice yardage on that one.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Jackson, options out left. They'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Lamar Jackson keeping it himself from 10 yards away. And the Ravens will extend their lead in the final minute of the half. So the Ravens will keep the offense on the field as they're going to go for 2. Jackson here, he's going to look to throw. That's caught at the 1.
I don't know about you, but I can't wait for a few years of 2-point tries and see what the data tells us, because a lot of teams want to throw the ball in this situation. This time, unsuccessfully. I just wonder if maybe running the ball might be the way to go.
With it moved up from the 3 to the 2, you would think maybe a few more attempts at running.
I think stats over time may bear out that running the ball will at least be the equal of throwing it in that situation.
The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. They're certainly in need of some kind of points here before the end of the half. A field goal or something being shut out right now. They could really use some momentum before they head into halftime. Trying to lay one up deep. And that is incomplete.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, there's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Mahomes. And that'll fall incomplete. He was hit just as he let that go. And now it's 3rd down.
Well, after incompletions on 1st and 2nd down, it certainly seems like a reflection of what we've seen so far in this game. The defense, quicker to the punch so far. Let's see if they can get something going here on 3rd down.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. Mahomes going to throw. And the Raven pressure too much. Down he goes. Jalen Armour-Davis. He's the culprit, causes a loss of 5, and it brings up 4th down. So that now 4 first-half sacks. This pass rush has been unrelenting.
And, partner, you hear that sound of paper being ripped to shreds? That's the game plan that they've had so far, because they've got to say to themselves right now, we have to do something differently.
So we're at halftime of this AFC wildcard matchup as we'll head down to Orlando. That's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gunn, getting set for quarter number 3 here. Both teams try to avoid being one and done in these playoffs as we start the second half of this AFC wildcard game.
A short kick taken at the 18. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive.
And they're in the position they expected to be in. They've got the lead, home crowd behind them, and they're looking toward making that next step in these playoffs.
And I think a key for them is to put together some good, long, extended drives. Work the run in a little more with that big offensive line. I'm not saying get away from throwing the football. That's still working. But if they run it more effectively, they may get even bigger plays in the passing game.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. Jackson. And this is going to be hauled in by the tight end Andrews. And they work this well upfield across the 45. His second catch of this wild card game, and it goes for a first down.
Jackson on the give to Dobbins.
And he'll take it across the 50 and into Chief territory. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
And this time not as successful as he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. Call it no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go.
Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first.
Jackson looking to throw on 3rd. And he's got his tight end. That's Andrews. And he takes this just a few yards shy of the red zone before going out. A good pickup there at 22.
Normally on 3rd down and short yardage, you're thinking of throwing to your tight end. It's just going to be a simple chain mover. But this time they let him roam down the field, and a nice dart picks up the first down and then some.
Throwing on first down, it's Jackson. And this one is incomplete.
Coverage was very good that time. A nice job to smother him as the ball arrived, and that ensured an incomplete pass.
And it keeps 6 points off the board.
And they run the option on 2nd down. Oh, and fine work there as he gets this thing down to the 11-yard line.
And that one will go for 13 yards on the keeper and a first down.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. They'll throw on first down with Jackson. And this is caught. Touchdown, Baltimore.
Devin Duvernay.
An 11-yard touchdown.
And the Ravens continue to show why it pays to play at home in the postseason as they add on to their lead.
Now Tucker to add the PAT. And he atones for his miss the first time around as this one is up and good to extend their lead. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
This defense, they just continue to feast. 5 sacks now as a unit. It's been quite an afternoon getting to the quarterback.
And we're seeing it come from a variety of places as well. Sometimes just the guys up front get...
And Mahomes misfires again, and it's intercepted. And the Ravens are going to take possession of the football. Well, still down quite a bit here, several scores, but yeah, at least that's a start, Charles, getting the interception here. And look, we're still in the third quarter, so this thing not done yet.
You're right about that, Brandon. This defense, they haven't quit on this game. They stayed with it and got an interception and handed the ball back to their offense. And what you wonder about is the team that just threw that interception, they've got to be careful about developing a sense of complacency and thinking this game is over.
And some determined running there as he'll pick his way down to the 12-yard line. That's good for a Raven first down, 15 yards there. Boy, an effective play there, getting their wideouts involved in the run game.
And what they're always hoping on that type of a play, that they can get to the end of the line and have a chance to turn it upfield as he did there. That means they controlled the blocking and took care of the defensive end or the outside linebacker to give him that lane.
And I guess I need to clarify, I said getting their wideouts involved in the run game, but of course that was actually a pass as he popped it forward. There on the stop was Leo Chanel. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin too.
On 2nd and 9, Jackson. A swing pass here to Edwards. It'll go as a gain of 4, and it brings up 3rd and 5 now.
Well, offensively, that's the mismatch that you want. You want to force a linebacker to try and cover your back out of the backfield, out in some open space. But linebackers nowadays, they run like backs, and they take a lot of pride in covering. What a nice play he made there in the open field.
They're going option play on 3rd down. He didn't get the touchdown, but he did get the first down as he's tackled at the 1. 1 quarter remains for the right to survive round 1 here in the AFC. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. They'll come out in the pistol. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. Lamar Jackson with his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Ravens have opened up a 4-touchdown lead here in the 4th. Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and that'll push the lead up to 29 now. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. Kadarius Toney going to elect to bring this one out. And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20. The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. They are most likely staring at a cold end to their season here in this wild card round. Nothing has gone right so far, and they are, to be frank, in desperation mode now as they begin with a 1st and 10. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play, and that's going to bring up 2nd down.
Another pass into the reliable hands of Kelsey. His second catch of this wild card game, and it goes for a first down. Shotgun snap to Mahomes. And he goes down. The Ravens able to get to him. Well, they're in some hot water now after that sack. It's 2nd and 21. Play action. Now it's Mahomes. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked up by Marcus Williams. And the Ravens are going to take possession of the football. And they'll take possession already in the red zone and in a great spot to add points to the scoreboard.
And Brandon, how many times have we seen a defense with a lot of field behind them get even more aggressive, right? They feel like they've got them not pinned down, but in a favorable spot for them. And they took advantage of it there.
And they'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Gus Edwards, 14 yards. And the Ravens start to open this lead even wider here in the 4th. Tucker with the extra point. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And this will not be returned. It'll come out to the 25. The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. Well, it's been a struggle so far for this offense, Charles. It's not only that they haven't been able to put the points up, but really stringing yards together has been a real issue for them. And now here's another interception. Mahomes picked by his ex-teammate Marcus Peters. Well, they've got the huge lead. Now they have another interception on the defensive side. Seems like everything they touch in this one, Charles, turns to gold.
And they have to be awfully happy right there to get what appears to be one more for the road. It helps seal away one of their best efforts of the season.
They'll run up the gut with Dobbins. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
Now that's a mountain of a man that just made that stop, isn't it? But he's more than that. This guy's nimble and quick. More than a space eater. He just made a great play there.
Got to get to the 26 for a first. This is 3rd down. Now Jackson. And that is incomplete. Up big here in the 4th quarter. Up really big. That passing incompletion. I don't think they needed the completion, but Charles, this is an offense right now that they're just having fun. They're clicking on all cylinders.
Yeah, you're right. They didn't need a completion. They certainly don't need any more points. But they're not going to turn them down. They're going to continue to run what they have in their playbook, and they still want to run it efficiently.
Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive.
And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And, okay, all right, I'm being facetious here. But you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
The Chiefs will use the first of their timeouts. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the fourth quarter. Now here's Mahomes. The tight end Kelsey has it over the middle. And the tackle going to be made at the 38. Now, fourth quarter, certainly not enough time for a comeback, but nice to see them making use of the time remaining to try and make this one a little more respectable.
Yeah, I think the ultimate goal, good execution, be crisp, be sharp, and find a way to put some points on the board to make this thing look.
And my goodness, another interception. Mahomes picked by his ex-teammate Marcus Peters. And the Ravens are going to take over here at their own 22-yard line. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. And it's looking like they are going to get the victory here, and it will not be one and done in these playoffs. Of course, you remember the disappointment of 12 months ago, and they're trying to erase that memory right now. And he'll be brought down here at the 28. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4. Jackson with a handoff to Dobbins on the option. 7 yards there and a first down.
Now that's the way to do it. Hand it to someone with vision and good footwork, and add a little bit of power, and you find a way to pick up first downs.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Another run here with Dobbins. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down. Now a second timeout called for by the defense as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this fourth quarter. From the 39-yard line, here comes 2nd down and 6. Here's a give to Dobbins running right. They find some open field here. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. 70 yards rushing for him now as he's carried it 13 times. They went with the nickel look defensively, so they had 5 defensive backs in there. Didn't help them stop the run.
Yeah, I love that, the nickel look. 5 cents, 5 DBs. But what also happens then, you take a big body off the field in order to insert that guy. So you're taking a big off for a little. And oftentimes you can run the football effectively against that defense.
The Ravens going to move on to another week in these playoffs as we say so long, everybody.